Yeah.
Hello and welcome. It's the Into the Minds podcast. That's a cheeky little intro. Will Kaye joined in the podcast booth with the leaders, Riley Murray and Eddie Oliver.
Well, thanks for having me on, Kaye. It's really nice of you to let me in here.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It's good to be on the podcast. Thank you there, Kay, for just covering in while I was busy. But
Having a snooze.
having a little snooze here on the Into the Minds podcast, round 9, episode 6. Welcome back to it. A second live with the full gang on. It's good to have you here, boys.
Thank you. It's good to
Anyway,
be here.
Pleasure.
yeah,
Pleasure.
always is. Anyway, this week we're going to be starting off by talking about the games that have passed, the 2 games from the past round. Starting off here, we're going to be talking about the Hogs and the Blue Tongues. What a game it was. The Hogs not being able to find any form in this season at all, and getting just folded there by the Blue Tongues in that game there, Riley.
Yeah, well, before we talk about the game, I think that it's fitting to talk about the fact that they've actually changed their lineup this week for the first time ever, which apparently Big Mav didn't actually know he could do. It probably could have helped them out there in the long run because I don't think Davo was really the choice in terms of fullbacks. Now they're moving Miko there. They've also made a couple other, I guess you could call it bold changes. But otherwise, the game itself, Blue Tongues are just great. So proud of the boys. Just got everything right, I guess you could say. Full credit to the boys.
Definitely, they're just talking about stats wise. 20-6, Blue Tongues coming away with it. 55 possession for the Blue Tongues, 45 for the Hogs. Completion sort of even. 17 out of 18 for the Hogs, sort of completing really well, but it just came down to who had the ball more. And that was the Blue Tongues with 19 out of 21. Error count even, penalties conceded pretty much even, tackles, everything was sort of the same, just came down to who had more moments, and that was the Blue Tongues in the end there. Square, Mobs, and Wilmot for the Blue Tongues getting tries, and Tyre coming in for them at that number 6 position, did an amazing job filling in for Domstrom and Ollie, who did play on the bench, and Callaghan with the 1 goal, and Knopfling-Gowie already spoken about that 1 try. Moving on to the second game, it was the Melbourne Ravens against the Cairns Firehawks, and Kay's probably going to have a bit to speak about this one, about the Melbourne Ravens. They really just didn't show up, losing 30-12 against the Firehawks, Kay.
The Ravens didn't show up for this one. You're right, Eddie. They just were very disappointing to watch out there. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's their first and only loss at home. Oh no, that's their second loss at home. Rather, they went down to the Swarm in round 7. But they just didn't show up at all. Dokulich was nowhere to be found. The only player that was really doing anything was Buckingham, and most of that effort was in defense. It was all the Firehawks. The move of Galaxy to 9 was a masterstroke. He just fit in well there, and he guided the team around a little bit more, having that experience in half. And then it was kind of allowing their normal hooker, what's his name, Alan Berkeley, to really guide the team around and with his running game and kicking games. It was a good switch there, and the Firehawks just dominated in that one.
Definitely. It just gave Berkeley that extra bit of stamina, not having to be in a such demanding position in there at the number 9. And it just really just gave them that extra little bit of spark that they did need here. And, 30-12, stats-wise, 36 line breaks for the Firehawks. What a statistic that is. And penalty tackles out of the roof for the Ravens. And they just never really got a chance to get going there. The Melbourne Ravens, as we're going to be moving on here to the next segment, the Into the Minds podcast team of the week, and that's going to be here. The Firehawks just blew the Mines competition off the board with that score that they put on the Ravens, and Riley, just the whole team working as a whole there.
Yeah, well, I think they made a lot of mistakes, but I think it's just because they were throwing the footy around so much. It looked like they were playing touch footy the way they were chucking it around. It's like no one wanted to actually take a hit up, just offload after offload. It was kind of crazy to watch. You don't see it very often in the SRL, let alone the Mines. So yeah, it was a fun game to watch, and they definitely deserved the team of the week.
No, they definitely did. Congratulations to them there, to the Firehawks being awarded the Into the Minds podcast Team of the Week. And then again, moving on, we're going to be talking about the best starting 13 Team of the Week. And, well, what a lineup it is, and just the amount of class that is shown in this podcast each week. Into the Minds best starting 13 of the week. Marcus Square there at the back, Kobe Kelly, Cody Ogg, Jack Jimmy, and Hugh Killian. What a backline that is, Kaye.
Yeah, huge stuff there. I think that one of the underrated players there is Hugh Killian out of everyone. I think that he's just been a little bit quiet, but watching him come up and play through the PNG system, I really hope that this week coming up, he well, not this week coming up. Oh no, this week, yeah, the Hogs this week. It's not the finals yet. This week coming up, that they do a really good job, and he does a really good job in particular of just showing off what he's got to give to the competition.
Definitely there. Thank you, Kaye. Before we move on with the team, just shout out to all the viewers. If you do have a question for us here on the podcast, just chuck it in the live chat, and we'll get around to it before the podcast finishes. And if I don't, I'll get yelled at by Riley again. But anyway, moving on here to the halves, and Joseph Jackson and Mike Borsons. Borsons just with the kicking game, just always on point, knowing where to kick it and just knowing how to get the team around the park and just the time to do it. What a time it is. And, you know, just Joseph Jackson, that he's been on and off, but he's finally found some consistency. You guys might have a different opinion on that, Riley.
Oh, yeah, well, I think that he definitely showed that he was one of the better halves this week. Oh, no, yeah, this week. He's definitely earned the place in the starting lineup. He's had his troubles, but I think he's looking very good at the moment. I'm proud of him.
Yeah, as he should be of himself. And the forwards again, well, this is a familiar sight. Ryan Wilmot, Quinton Cotter. Quinton Cotter not in here for a couple of weeks now. It's usually been Eli Azzi. But due to inactivity, he's not been there. But I've heard from the captain that he's finally made an upgrade, Riley. Is that correct?
I'm sorry. Come again. What was that?
So I was just talking about Eli Azzi, how, you know, he hasn't made his way onto the team for a couple of weeks now due to inactivity. But I think I've heard from you earlier today, the man's actually made an upgrade.
Oh yeah, well I'm not sure what you've been smoking, but he's been in the team every week. He's just not shown up to training a couple times, you know, just missed out. But I think you should definitely get off the bud, mate. It's not doing wonders for your brain.
Well, anyway there, Felix Wimmel-Skeed, Quinton Cotter, well done. Congratulations for being into the team. It's been a while for you, brother, and it's good to see you back. Felix Wimmel-Skeed again this week, again twice. And, well, just all class from him. He's finally just found his foot these past couple of weeks in that Blue Tongues jersey, and what a job he's done for them. Igor McCuzzy, the workaholic, is back here. The number 11, Sonny Sharp again, and then Christian Bakaglippy. Isn't he a US international, Kaye? We'll be right back to Kaye in a second, but from memory, he's a US international who has come overseas here to the Mines, and what a performance he did put in on the weekend. Just showing us, you know, you don't have to be growing up in the grassroots of Australia. You can come from anywhere, and you can put a show on, and as he did, well deserved there. And well done to all these players.
He's definitely the best player for the Hogs, eh? He's very good.
Definitely there. Congratulations to them. He was the unsung hero for the Hogs, even though coming away with the loss there for them there. As we're moving on here, we're going to be talking about the fan-voted player of the week. And as I scroll through here, it's going to be given to here Cyrus Marks. Just what a performance he did put in. Thank you again to everybody who did vote, clicking on Riley's links and going through the forum, taking the time. And what a play he was, and just amazing stuff from him, Riley.
Yeah, well, I think that most people probably saw Square's try that he got, and they couldn't really help themselves but actually vote for him. It was an amazing try. We'll touch on it a bit later, but man, he just had a great game, didn't he? It's just great stuff, and makes sense why he's won the Player of the Week.
No, definitely, as we'll be touching on all of those things later, and as you're talking about a Marcus Square close behind there, is very close between those two, and then just some of the other players, Ryan Wilmot, Felix Wimmer-Skeet, all of these players that have been voted, just congratulations to you, because it is, the Mines is a hard game, just as the SRL Premiership, and, well, it takes a lot of guts to do what you guys do, and we congratulate you there, Matthew Galaxy. Even not losing any bit of form, moving into an unfamiliar position. And as we're moving to this midway point of the podcast, we're just going to have a quick look at the chat here. We've got a question here from Matt Galaxy himself here, Riley. I'll give it to you. Any predictions of what Mines players will make their SRL debut for next season?
All right, here we go. I'll do you one better. How about that? I'll give you my predicted draft thing. All right, I'm making this up on the spot, so it might not be perfect. All right, number 1, I think that Rakamanu will probably end up at the Storm. Isn't that right, Kaye? Okay. No, we'll see. And then next up, we got the Warriors. I think that they're gonna snatch Marcus Square up. No doubt about that. He's been in cahoots with them, I swear. Then we got Parramatta Eels. I'm not sure who they need. I think that it'd be crazy if maybe Wilmot didn't get taken up that early. Then the Newcastle Knights. I could see them taking a back, maybe. I don't know. I'm just talking out of my arse here, really. But
Just the usual for you, Riley.
yeah, just about. I reckon maybe Miko Rashford, eh? Okay, what do you think about North Queensland? You can take it from here.
North Queensland, that's going to be a tough one. I don't actually know who they need. Let's have a quick look at their free agency list, because why not?
Oh, yeah.
They're losing Moscow and Kauzakau. I reckon they may go the route and put a second rower in there. Maybe Igor Makazi.
Oh, yeah, that could be a good one.
Or maybe Ruben Mobbs, Felix Stoder. Those are probably my picks for the Cowboys. Or if they're going to fill in that Luka Moscow role, I think it's got to be Horne King.
Sonny Sharp as well could be added in there as well for them. Thank you there, boys, for answering that question. We'll come back to the other ones just a bit later in the show, as we are at that midway point. While you're here, don't forget to go down, leave a comment on the video, on the live stream after it's been uploaded. And any suggestions of any segments you want to see in the future. And just don't forget to make sure to go look at the link down the Discord if you want to be the next guest speaker. Much appreciated. But enjoy this clip here.
Down to the 50, who's around? It's Wimmer-Skeet, goes right, Borson's inside ball square. That's a terrific ball. Borson's turns Knopfler, go inside out. Rashford can't get to him. And that's a terrific try. The half and the fullback linking up.
Well, it's been the players who haven't been defending the most on the field. And there's the half and the number 1 here, Marcus Square. The man who gave him that ball getting around him. Mike Borsons, what a player he is, showing his kicking game off early. But also the awareness, the inside ball. What a try that was there. Marcus Square, just the markers offside, going inside ball to him there from Borsons, flying away against the Hogs there, with Dave O'Noughlin-Gowie the back getting turned inside out, diving at thin air. What a try it was, Riley.
It was just lovely to see. I was on the other side of the field when it happened, so I had to get my binoculars out to actually see it. The guy's so quick, I basically almost missed it myself. Just like how Dave O'Noughlin-Gowie missed the tackle. But yeah, it was great to watch. He's just a class player, and he's just getting better every week, it feels like.
No, he definitely is. Well done there to him. And as we're moving on here, we're going to be talking about the shit haircut of the week. And we do have a person returning this week. And it is that man, Igor Makazi, who has found some form these past few weeks. And we just want to, bring him back on and congratulate him, because his form has dropped. And just to bring yourself back like he has, well done to him. And again, thank you very much to Riley for the creations here. Absolutely beautiful stuff, Kaye. You're a bit giggly in the background. Do you want to talk about this one for us?
Oh, we just got the greatest photo of him with his eyes closed. He's a good player. He's a good player. Fucking atrocious haircut, but good player.
He definitely is. Well done there getting praise from the SRL Mines Commissioner, William Kaye. Just presented for an extraordinary performance, but as we say, a shit haircut. Congratulations to you there, Blue Tongue's #1 fan, apparently.
Hold on, this just in. Extremely important news. Player league alerts. A new announcement has been made. Eddie, do you want to read this announcement?
I will in just 1 second. Let me just open it up. Where is it here? League alerts, you said?
Yeah, league alerts.
Thank you very much here for our people keeping an eye out. Just released here on the SRL Discord here in their league alerts. Go check it out for yourself. If you don't get a chance, we'll be reading it out here from William Kaye, the man. He's found a bit of time during this podcast to write something up. William Kaye stepping down as Mines Commissioner for next season. And the following is said, good evening all. As many of you are aware, I've been the SRL Mines Commissioner for the past 2 seasons. A role that I've taken with both hands and given my all to. Today, I'm announcing that I'll be stepping down from my role for a number of personal and weather-related reasons. I'd like to thank all Mines players that have made my role so enjoyable and wish all the best to them in their careers. I'm sure you will have questions and I'm happy to answer them in chats, whether DM or in the server. So whatever you guys do preference. And lastly here, we'll be looking out for someone to fill in the role, to fill the role in. If you or someone you know, feel free. That would be a good pick. Let us know. So go text the SRL commissioner there and Lachlan Martin, or if you don't have the confidence, the SRL Mines commissioner at the moment, will take those DMs and pass it on to him. Kaye, mate, well, what an announcement this was. Any words?
Yeah, it's just been something that's happening. It's been in the works for a while. It's just I can't give the Mines the attention that it needs next season, and I don't want to do the boys that deserve such a dedicated person to not have someone like that. So that's why I'm stepping down, purely because of that. Yeah, it's a bit sad. The Mines have been my baby. I got it up and running. I really wanted those junior players in that reserve grade going. But yeah, I'm hoping that someone comes along and does just as good as, if not better, a job than I can. And yeah, hopefully it continues going next season.
Well, I don't know about you, Eddie, but I'm shedding a tear.
There's a
I'm
tear
so-
from
I
everybody
don't
here,
expect-
and in the live chat, hashtag thank you Kaye. We'll be spreading it as the week unfolds and early into next week of the Mines. Congratulations, Kaye, for your stint there in the SRL Mines Commissioner's seat. What a stint it was, 2 seasons, and he took up the job with 2 hands, and he's given back as much as this man can. What a player he was. We're looking forward to see how you go.
He's not dead, Eddie. He's not
We
dead.
understand that, but we're looking forward. We're looking forward to you, Kaye, to see how you go in your.
I'm just retiring from the Mines, I'd like to clarify, not
Yeah.
from the SRL.
We're
I'm still a player.
Okay, we're looking forward to see how you go as the Melbourne Storm captain for season 6 here of the SRL Premiership. Moving on here though, we've got one. We'll just move to a quick question. Here from RVIDN. Who's getting selected with the #1 draft pick?
Oh, well, I think I already said it. I reckon.
I won't answer this.
Yeah, you might want to. I reckon it'll be Rakamanu. He's looking good, eh? Without giving away any of my secrets that I know with my what's it called, Mines MVP. There's actually 3-way tie, and this looking pretty competitive. So any 3 of those people that are up there, I reckon could take the cake. But you guys will find out who those people are next week.
Definitely there. And also, just one quick question for Riley. What is Eddie smoking in that booth? You can smell it from Bathurst.
Yeah, look, it's definitely something that starts with M and ends with TH. You can fill in the gaps, but I've got it under pretty good authority that it might be what he's smoking.
carrying on here on the Into the Mines podcast, we're going to be talking about the Into the Mines pyramid of the week here. And the Into the Mines pyramid is based off players' performances in the round that has just passed, all the way from the bottom to the top. Every player in this pyramid has had an excellent game and have stood out to the observers here with William Kaye and Riley Murray. The only difference between where they are positioned on the pyramid here is just based on how consistent they were with their performance during the game. But starting off the bottom here, you have Kobe Kelly, Ugul McCuzzy, Eli Azzi, Sonny Sharp, and Rex Buckingham. All players that just really set the tone and just played a part in their team's winning. Ugul McCuzzy being the only Hogs player, as we've spoken about, shit haircut of the week. Just what a performance he did have, Riley.
Oh yeah, shit haircut as usual, but all the other blokes in there, I spelled Sonny Sharp's name wrong, but we won't worry about that. Everyone else had a really good performance, and they definitely earned their spot on the pyramid.
Definitely. Congratulations to them. Moving up here, Matthew Galaxy, Mike Borsons, Felix Wimel-Skeed, and Cyrus Marks. Just players that have been all over the place all season, setting the tone for their team and just making a mark on this SRM Mines competition. What have you seen from them, Kay?
So, who was the players you cut out there for a second?
Matthew Galaxy, Mike
yeah,
Borsons.
Yeah, I got him now. All right. We've got spine players, obviously. Galaxy. Now, this is where we part ways in the agreements. I think Galaxy is too low on this list this week. He was just phenomenal for the Firehawks. He just was something special in that 9 jersey. I don't know why, but he just was at home in that 9 jersey. Borsons, Wimel-Skeed, consistent as ever. They've got to pick up the slack. Borson's filling into that 7 quite nicely. Done about 20 times the job as Dominic Stramanoli ever has. Wimel-Skeed, a competitor through and through, and he's always played like that. And Cyrus Marks, there's not much you can say about this fullback. He just talks for himself, really. His game talks for himself.
He definitely does. Just what a player he is. And moving up, Ryan Wilmot. It's the forwards here. Second from the top, Quinton Cotter. Just the big boys all on this row here this week, Riley. What's the reasoning behind that?
Yeah, well, I love to chuck the big boys up as high as I can. And I think that both these blokes just absolutely were on fire this week. Wilmette and Quinton Cotter, they're just two very good forwards, probably the best in the league, to be honest, even though I don't like the Queensland as much myself. But Quinton Cotter was very good, and so is Wilmette. I think that there's not much of an argument to say that anyone should be above them. Okay, but yeah, Galaxy, I would have put him higher, but he had too many errors. It was like he had a good place right in the middle there. What was that?
And finishing off here at the top, moving on, it's going to be Marcus Square, again, who's been all over this podcast this week with the being awarded the Try of the Week. Congratulations to you, mate. Well done to all of these players. We've got to move on here quickly, running short of time. And moving on here to the second last segment of the week, it's going to be the Into the Mines Goat of the Week, and we were just wrapping the player up. And what an image this is here from Riley Murray. Into the Mines Goat of the Week, Marcus Square. I'll let the captain give this man the rap.
Yeah, well, you saw his try. You've seen his stats. You've seen how square he is. He's just a top bloke. You see him in the chats every day. He's just all over the place. He's a great player, great try. He's quick. He's basically the whole cast of SpongeBob SquarePants at this point. He's just the GOAT at this point. I don't know what else you can say about it.
There's nothing else to say. He can fit through. He might be square, but he can fit through any tiny little hole in the defensive line, as was proven in that Into the Mines Try of the Week. Congratulations to you there, Marcus Square. And moving on to the last segment, we're going to be talking about, weekly tips of next round. Have we assigned each other, games, boys? Because I reckon, Kaye, do you want to take the Blue Tongues and Swarm?
I will take the Blue Tongues and Swarm because it's probably better if Riley doesn't jinx himself. Huge game. Biggest game that we've had in Mines history. This is the decider for the finals. Whoever ends up on top of the ladder which at the moment is looking like it's going to be Firehawks unless they lose by 27 points to the Hogs. 28 points to the Hogs. Stranger things have happened. Maybe not. But yeah, this is the final decider in that case of who makes the finals. The Swarm will be battling out to beat the Blue Tongues. The Blue Tongues get a home ground advantage and try and pull one over the Swarm. Correct me if I'm wrong, but last time these two teams met, Riley, the Blue Tongues came out on top with just a try, wasn't it? Just a converted try.
Yeah, something like that. It was a close game. It was a good game, and Rakamanu was just like putting out a masterclass. I think that the boys are going to be doing everything they can to make this as competitive as possible and try and get the win.
Yeah, Rakamanu is going to be a big player here. I haven't had a look at the Swarm camp this week. I don't know who's coming in, maybe coming out of the team, so I can't give you any tips. I know Jason Powders and Zach Robinson are on their last chance, so they have tonight to get those upgrades in. Otherwise, they may be in a bit of strife. The Blue Tongue strong as ever. Eli Azzy just needs to get his upgrade in, and they'll be right, I think. I do think that with the addition of Sunny Tyre, the Blue Tongues will take this one, though.
Definitely that. Thank you, Kaye. What a game will be. We spoke about it in commentary during the Hogs and Blue Tongues game. And I just mentioned on just how, what Kaye just said. It's going to be a mammoth other game. Moving on here to the Hogs and Firehawks. Riley, who's your tip and how do you think the game's going to play out?
We'd all love to tip the Hogs, don't we? It's just
The underdogs.
The underdogs, they haven't gotten a win, and although you'd love to see them all go like a full season without actually getting a win, you just gotta really just hope they get something. I feel bad for them at this point. I'm hoping that they'll get their first win of the season after making those changes to their lineup. I think that the Firehawks were looking very good last week, but they also showed some parts of their game that could probably be taken advantage of and maybe help the Hogs get a win for the first time ever.
No,
Bell.
definitely there. As as you said there, the Firehawks did give their opposition this week, I should say, some opportunities which they didn't take them up on. The Ravens, they didn't take them up on those opportunities, clearly shown in the score. Well, thank you guys all so much for being on this podcast this week. It's been an amazing turn of events with the SRL Mines Commissioner releasing a comment that he'll be stepping down. But again, Kaye, thank you for what you've done and for just being the SRL Mines Commissioner that the SRL's needed.
Thanks, Edward. I really appreciate that, Edmund.
Thank you. Thank you guys for joining me. As before we finish, don't forget to leave a comment down below once this live is uploaded as a video. And just any other general comments or tips will all be appreciated, or in the description, go down and check out the link down there. Will be appreciated as well. And leave a like on the video. Why not? Helps us out, and Riley loves to see the likes. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm Eddie Oliver, joined by your two co-hosts here, Riley Murray and the SRL Mines Commissioner, William Kaye. Thanks for being here, boys.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Eduardo.
Thanks, boys. Thank you very much for being here. We'll see you next week on the Into the Mind podcast. Thank you very much.
And the live Eddie, Jesus Christ.